When you get on the range, first thing you want to do is make sure you do a safety briefing. You know, even if it's just you bringing your wife out to the range, you bringing some people out to the range, there's some important things for everybody to know what's going on out here. You got your 4 basic gun safety rules, which those 4 basic gun safety rules, first off, treat every gun as if it's loaded. Treating every gun as if it's loaded basically means I take a gun out, I hand it to you. I want to make sure that this gun is clear. Take my magazine out, point it in a safe direction, rack it, make sure there's no rounds in it. I like to tell everybody, yo, it's disrespect to give somebody a loaded gun. So if I pull out and I got this gun, I want to be like, yo, here you go. Nah, first thing I want to do is make sure all guns are clear, all right? The second thing, never point the gun at anything you're not willing to destroy, all right? That goes as far as pointing the gun at your feet. If this paper is my gun, I don't want to be standing here holding it down and it's pointed at my foot and accidentally I shoot my foot. There's videos out there, there's testimony, there's a lot of people who will show you and tell you, you know, oh, I shot my foot, I shot in my pants. You know, never point the gun at anything you're not willing to destroy. I'm not willing to destroy any of the cars. I don't point the gun at the cars. I ain't willing to destroy that rock over there. I don't point the gun at the rock, always in a safe direction. Third one, finger off the trigger until you're on target and ready to fire, which basically means you come up, you present. When you present and you're on target and you're ready to fire, then you put your finger on the trigger and you squeeze, right? Okay. So always keep your finger off the trigger. Best thing, you want to have it wrapped high onto the steel. I like to touch the steel and feel the steel. That way, let's just say we running a drill. It's rocky out here. We running a drill. You trip behind me. You know what I'm saying? You fall into my back. I don't want to mistakenly pull that trigger. You know, if we're not trying to do that, you can mistakenly pull the trigger, you know. Fourth and very important, always know your backstop. Always know what your surroundings are, you know. That's a very important thing when we're handling firearms, stuff like that, because scenario, you're in the house. Bullets, these ballpoint bullets go through walls. Your kid could be on the other side of that wall. You always know your backstop. Never take that shot unless you know or have assessed what your backstop is. That's how people wind up getting hurt in the background. Property winds up getting damaged in the background. As you can see, we got backstops that are mountains, and there's nobody that way. Bullets have tendencies to be known to travel over a mile. That's why shooting up in the air is one of the dumbest things, because what goes up must come down. You know, we have no idea where they're coming down at, no idea who is going to hit. They're coming down damn near just as hard as they went up. Medical kit. At my bag that's right there, that brown bag, that green bag that I got, I have a medical kit that's on the front of that bag. Inside that bag, there's a tourniquet, there's little minor cuts and scrapes stuff, you know, there's chest compressions, things like that. That is something that's very important. A lot of people take something called a stop the bleed class. If you're going to be a gun owner, you're going to be a range goer, that's a class that's a necessity to take, a stop the bleed class, so that you can understand how to actually stop that. If you have, or we have an accident out here, God forbid, never call 911 and say somebody got shot. There was a training accident. Okay. Training accident, and give your location. Don't actually say somebody got shot, because the first thing they're going to do is send the SWAT team, and whoever it is that's bleeding, that's shot, that's hurt, they're not getting out of there until they come and clear this area. We're only going to load our magazines at that table, all right? We got firing lines marked off. We're only going to load our gun at the firing line. So you see my gun is empty right now. I won't wind up putting a magazine in it until me and you step up to this firing line and we say that we're ready to shoot. Then we'll load our gun. We'll click the slide close. We'll have one in the chamber, but we will only have our guns loaded on this firing line. All right. Okay. But it's fine to load your magazine at the table. Don't handle your gun at the table, because most likely you'll be at the table that's behind somebody that's shooting on the line. So we never want to handle our gun in an active way behind somebody that's shooting on the line. We got eyes and we got hats. Advantage to having this is shell casings go up in the air. It's happened to me. It's happened to many people, and it happens to women a lot. All right. That shell casing goes in the air and it winds up falling down your shirt. It winds up getting lodged in between the part with your eye. If that happens, I need you to deal with it. Deal with it until you have unloaded your gun, cleared your gun, put your gun down in a safe direction. It's not going to kill you. It's going to be a minor burn. It ain't going to be nothing crazy. After we're done shooting, we're going to always make sure our gun is safe. So if you were shooting, boom, 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 you shoot your shots. When you're done, you would click it on safe. All right, clicking on safe, and we'll holster it, or we'll empty it totally, make sure there's nothing in the chamber, and then we'll set it down. So we always gonna make sure our guns are on safe or safe when we leave the firing line, by the time we leave the firing line. We're gonna always keep our guns pointed in a safe direction. We right now will establish a safe direction between you and I. Our safe direction is that way, downrange. So let's just call this my gun. I'm shooting, boom, boom, boom. You happen to call me. If I turn, my gun is still going to be pointed this way. I am not going to turn and be like, we see people driving down that road already. It could be that one unfortunate incident, you know, where somebody's driving, our gun goes off. We don't want that. So we always going to keep our guns pointed in a safe direction, even how we got them on the table. Look at which way our guns are pointed on the table, in a safe direction. They're not pointed at you. They're not pointed at me. They're not pointed at our items. Never chase any rounds that might have to come out your gun. So let's just say we're shooting, we have a malfunction, and you gotta rack your gun, a round is gonna come spitting out. Don't be like, oh yeah, let me pick that up. You might pick that up and lean my way while it is we're shooting. It might not be me, it might be somebody else that's less experienced. They have no idea that that round just came out your gun because you're focused somewhere else. So if we lose a round, it's only a round, it's 25 cents. You know what I'm saying? We can afford it. It's not worth our life. It's not worth, you know, us possibly having a shard or something, you know, going in your eye, going in your skin. It's just not worth it. So any rounds that happen to go there, your magazine, we're shooting, we do a magazine change. Drop your magazine. That's what happens. Drop your magazine in the dirt. When we're done and our guns are safe and we've secured everything back at the table, we'll come back up. We'll pick up our magazine. Once again, it's a $25 magazine. If we happen to lose it, we lost it. So what? You know, we'll find a way to get it again. And most of the times, you know where it was you were shooting at. You can grab it. You can get on back. We're going to make sure that we're all on the same line shooting. That's why I drew these lines here to be equal to each other. I don't want to be right here shooting and you're right there in front of me shooting and my bullets are flying past you in any way. Yeah. So it's called knowing your 180. All right. Everything that's right here, 180 from you, you're never going to be in front of me. I'm never going to be in front of you. We'll be on the same line firing at the same time if that's what happens. Eyes and ears, always when we're on the range. I got some Ear Pro right here. You got some Ear Pro. We got our glasses on. We're going to always make sure we have eyes and ears. And before we actually start shooting, we're going to use commands. Range is hot. The range is hot means my gun is loaded and it's time to shoot. I'm not going to take that first shot without observing that you have your eyes and ears on. All right. Once again, shell cases fly, can burn you, your ears. We don't need this making us lose our hearing, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Range is hot. Range is hot basically means guns are loaded. We're ready to shoot. All right. Ceasefire. You hear ceasefire? Stop right then. You hear ceasefire? Stop right then. It could be for anything. We'd be very respectful of wildlife. All right. We're out here. It could be a deer. It could be a fox. It could be a snake. We don't have tags to hunt, none of that. We ain't no hunters. That's not the type of thing that we're up to, you know. It could be other brothers riding motorbikes out there, you know. A ceasefire can come for any different reason. Ceasefire, just stop shooting, make sure your gun is safe. Range is cold. Range is cold basically means everything is done. You know what I'm saying? We're safe. The range is cold. I actually know now, after the range is cold, I could walk up there, I could do different things to the targets. Never walk up there and do anything to the target until we've identified that the range is cold. And then downrange. Downrange is a very important one. Downrange is letting you know, you're letting me know you need to go downrange to do something. Remember that magazine we were talking about possibly dropping, stuff like that? All right, we thought that we secured our guns, but once again, you know, communication does cease. So we take all proper precaution to make sure that we know what someone is doing. So you want to come downrange, you want to get your magazine, stuff like that. People feel connected to this magazine. Yeah. So you want to go out there and get it, you know? Make sure you say downrange, because now I know you want to go downrange and get whatever it is you're getting. I don't got to identify what it is. I just know when you hear downrange, put your gun down, step back from the table. Make sure you got whatever on the table that it is that you might be wanting to use. All right. Never handle your gun behind anybody else. Those commands are something that we should both repeat too. All right. So when you hear ceasefire, call ceasefire. Okay. You hear downrange, call downrange. You hear range is hot, call range is hot.
I know you heard me.
Other than I know you heard me, very correct. Whoever else is with us, We're trying to make sure everybody knows what's going on. Our number one priority while we're out here is safety. That's the fun part about leaving the range. Leaving here with as many holes in you as you showed up to this range with. So it's very important. That's the number one thing, safety. We learn to respect gunners that have good safety in them. Safety is our number one priority. And once again, when we hear a command, we repeat a command. It ain't nothing. It's very easy.